Apologies for the background noise, my 3D printer is working. Alright, so I'm gradually cleaning up the seams, the joins. I used perfect plastic putty on some of these large gaps, and I still need to have coming around checking again. There was a bit of a seam in that piece there on either side. I got to clean up the CA glue this time. The nose cap on the nose had a on the sprue. I cut it off, but it still had like a little chunk out of it, so I puttied that. I need to, when I'm happy with that, I'll scribe around it again to show the panel line or the join where the nose cap meets the main part of the fuselage. Yeah, so it's a product of its era. I gotta spray primer over that yet. I've glued the wingtip tanks on. They're a bit, the joins on them are a bit, one better than the other, even though I did clean the wing halves. I scraped them, like trying to get them level either side, but I was still left with a gap. It was pretty nasty on the underside, but thankfully it is the underside and it won't be seen normally. I will putty that though and clean it up. This one's pretty good but still needs some putty, and then will come the process of mounting or gluing on the wings and sorting out the gaps what may come. That's not too bad. What was this one like? I think I mentioned earlier, yeah, that one's got the bit of a step, and I think I mentioned previously it's best you clean the step up, but try and get the bit that's most visible aligned and clean up the underside, so that you're still cleaning up the best you can and putting panel lines and that back in. But if you don't have to touch it, it's best to do the area that is you see straight away when you look at it. And I was thinking, like I said, I was going to use those where are they? Aftermarket, the rockets. But what I will need to check is I'll put one together and actually have a squiz of how it looks sitting on these pylons, because they are pretty chunky and the kit ones are a lot bigger. It may turn out that I do use these, because these ones might look silly sitting on there, whereas these ones might, yeah, these might suit better. I'll suss that out. And I'm starting to think anyway that this is probably a waste of a good set of brass and rockets. But anyway, I'll suss it out and see what it looks like. Yeah, so keep on cleaning up. I got one wing glued on. This is the one that didn't have the step. I've cleaned up this one on the underside, as mentioned. So I've lost the detail that was there, obviously. So now it's flush how it should be. Now I'm going to have to try and I'm not try rescribing some of the detail, the panel lines and some of those rivets. You won't see it, but I'll put it in. Well, you will see if you flip it over. So I was fitting the windscreen for a dry fit, and it's not very good. You can see at the front there's a bit of a gap. I helped create that because originally when I had this piece on it, the clear part was stepped higher than the plastic there, and I'm looking for the quickest way out, so I sanded the bottom of the clear part to drop it so I could get that flush. Otherwise, your other option is you have to build the plastic up on the fuselage. You can't sand away the canopy because there's not much framework there. And the other problem is it's too wide. If it shows up, it's stepped out from the fuselage. Not so again, you can build up that plastic, but that's going to take a while. I'm not interested in that. I'm going to glue one side and then I'm going to pull the other side in and glue the other side. Easier said than done, but I'll work something out because I don't want to modify that. It's too much work. Honestly, I just want to get this thing finished and get it out of my head. Because I hate having kits sitting around that are started but not finished. So I decided again, I've changed my mind. I'm going to use the kit rockets. I've sanded them all down because they had huge flash mold where the molds join. The other ones would have looked silly because they're shorter than these and they wouldn't have sat properly on the pylon. And like I said, I'm going to use up that good set of brass and aftermarket on this. And then when I get the other wing on, I'll glue the tail on then because I want to use the wings as a guide for the level. I use the Mark 1 eyeball method of lining up wings and tails because it's very, you see, very floppy fit. Even the top is a bit, well, that's see how much play in it, so I need the wings to line that up, and then that will require puttying as well because there'll be gaps on that. Anyway, onwards. Alright, finally getting somewhere, so it's all just about together. You can see by all the white is where it's had putty. Bit under the wings as well. So I'm just about ready now. I'll start painting in. I'll paint in the wheelbase. So I'll do. I'm probably going to paint it aluminium. So I'll use like dark aluminium or something for the gear base. Just throw a different shade so it's not all uniform colour. I'll spray in the instrument panel coaming black, and then I'll have to tackle that windscreen fit, and then I can start. Where is that? Down here. I've got crap everywhere at the moment. I'm doing all these builds. So I need to do the gear doors. They're massive, aren't they? the gear legs, clean it all up. There'll be a bit of flash from the mold joins, and paint the wheels. I've got the wheels off. Wheels have been done, they're huge too. I gotta clean that up, the canopy section. And then when I clean that up, then I'll have a go at the rest of the canopy. I suppose that doesn't fit either. Anyway, I have noticed, I reckon the pilots, they're not too bad for considering the kit, what it's like. I think they're alright. I'll be cutting them off the sprue and keeping them. I might use them down the track on something else in flight. Obviously they're not as good as a resin figure, but I think they're pretty good for, like I said, considering how the rest of the kit goes, fit wise and looks wise. Yeah, so start pushing on with it. Alrighty, so I've painted up that combing section. It's just had a clear gloss coat, so it needs to dry off. I've painted up wheels. So I used the dark aluminium as mentioned. So I did the gear legs, dark aluminium, and the internals of the door. So those the main gear doors, the aircraft's parked with them shut, so you no need to paint the inside of that. I've just sprayed in there. So obviously I've still got to paint the aluminium in there yet, so you won't see any of that. And I've put in those doors which insert all the way down as far as you can go, which is a bit odd, but that's how it's done. And well, so I started painting up the rockets, so the olive drab tips. I've put some wire, lead wire in for the fuse. You wouldn't believe how hard it is to find images of this aircraft with the high velocity rockets on it, and I could only find one, so I guess it didn't use them much, or there's no photos of that particular setup. So just for my benefit of where they actually sit, so they pretty much sit like that. And I've drilled I don't know where it attached to on the aircraft. I just drilled some holes and I'm putting them in there. It's just a little detail you can add to sort of liven it up a little bit. It's probably not properly accurate, but it'll do me. And I've primed the inside. I'll paint the inside the aircraft grey, then I'll glue the canopy on. The canopy will fit because it's flexible, so it'll line up alright. And then I'll spray the outside, so when the canopy's glued on and masked, the whole lot will be painted aluminium. Be easier that way for me. So I dipped the canopy, so that needs to dry off. I'll go back. I need to go back and look at the metalwork around the engine, see what it looks like. The real thing, it's different to the rest of the aircraft, I think. Yeah, so once that's dry, then I'll probably have a go at, I will mask up that windscreen and try and glue that on. I'm not looking forward to it, but that's what's got to be done.